Some night shining by some door. Forgetting just you as we say.
I thought you was crying about something, boy.
Fire and water and fire, like wind and cold and surround. We come to you with our desire, and all that's in it now before. Grace and surrender, look at the soul, bringing how we hold together. We try not within our core to find the magic in Father of the summer fields, goddess of the still. Join with us as power builds, dance with us now, which is true. Father of the summer dew, hunter of the hidden snows, with our bare arms we welcome you. Dance with us as power grows. Dance with us now, which is true. Dance with us now, which is true. Mother of the summer fields, goddess of the still. Join with us as God builds. Dance with us now, which is true. Mother of the summer hunter of the snows, with open arms we welcome you. Dance with us as now. Dance with us now, dance with us now, dance with us now.
Oh, goodness.
By all the light and sun, by all the might of land and sea, shaft the road and it is done, as we move so
All right. Hello, Rosemary and Sage. Hello, good evening. Happy Monday. Happy full moon to you guys, or full moon eve. Rosemary and Sage, that is S.J. Tucker, Witch's Rune. And I'll link it to you in the chat. Okay. All right. Hey, how are you this Monday? It's been an interesting Monday, hasn't it? Okay. So I've got another discussion that I'm probably going to do during the witching hour because I've got to get me something to eat. And I haven't gotten into a good movie on Netflix in forever. And so I want to get into a movie and relax and chill. But I felt that I needed to come on here with this message. Worrying too much when I'm doing casework for you. Okay. Especially when you are dealing with a situation where you may be dealing with a person that you could be fighting with, or you could be possibly going back and forth with this person. Some of my more complicated cases these days have been off the chain, you guys. So I've got a lot on my plate and a lot more coming up during the month of September, October, just all the way through September, October, November. It's going to be crunch time for real. But this is what I'm telling you. When I am doing work for you, when I have done work for you, okay, especially when it comes to certain cases, you have got to have trust in the spirits. Okay. If you worry too much about the work that I do for you, you're going to worry yourself half sick. So, this is when it can start to affect your health. For example, if you come to me to get an emergency money spell and you say, Jamila, I've got to have this amount of money by this day, which, to be honest with you, typically when somebody needs emergency money, they don't necessarily go and pay somebody. Depends on how much money they need. When I do that spell work for you, the money is going to manifest, and you're gonna look, and any, like, as an experienced practitioner, I like especially when I first started in this, I just would worry myself to pieces about, especially when it's an extenuating circumstance that's going on. And what I realized is that when you're dealing with an adversary or an enemy, they're going to say certain things, they're going to do certain things, but that doesn't mean that they have won the battle with you, because it's not over yet. Okay, when you come and get spiritual work, especially when it comes to certain types of workings, love work can take up to 6 months to a year, depending on. And so, especially when there was any kind of cheating going on, but not always. I think that one of the main issues would be trust. Many people have trust issues. This is why love work can sometimes take a minute, because if a person is not trusting you, what's the point in getting back with them if they don't trust you? They're just going to not trust you, which is going to hurt you even more. So, but when it comes to other types of cases, for example, the cleanses are instant. Those happen instantly. Okay. You are going to feel instant relief. I always banish any negative spirits that could be on you, or, within you, that could be bothering you. Hex removers can take up to 7 days. And see, it depends on what hex we're removing, though. If we're removing a money blockage, okay, and I've got new stuff coming up, very excited about it. Since I've met my new friend, he's very friendly too. He's very friendly. So anyway, and I'm not talking about a actual person. I'm talking about a spirit. I'm talking about I don't even feel comfortable with calling them a demon, but that's what they call them. So as far as with money work, that is because I feel like sometimes you have to go a little bit stronger, because other spirits that may work for you could be banished, they could be distracted, they could, a lot of different stuff. So you have to keep your options open when it comes to magic. But if you worry during the course of your spell work, you're just gonna make yourself miserable the whole time while you're waiting for it to work. And that's with any work that you're getting done. Like, I don't care how light or how dark it is, because I've done dark work for people. Okay. Because there's been people that have done horrible things to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those things have hurt or harmed that person. You know, those things have, made that person have PTSD or anxiety. Nobody should have to live like that. And so I think that, well, everybody has to take responsibility for their own energy at some point, but even I have to follow along, because really everything that we're dealing with is all about principle anyway. You know, it's about the principle of the thing. It's about learning the lesson. It's about making better choices. So, it is not a good choice for you to worry too much about your case. Usually, when I'm working with clients that do worry a lot about their case, and I can pick up on it, it's very important for you to follow my instructions that I give to you. Um, if it, especially when it comes to taking the spiritual, the baths, because we don't just have cleansing baths. We have court case baths, we have money baths, we have love baths, we have uncrossing, unhexing baths, that specific recipes that we'll give to you. Some of the very common ones are, you're welcome, Rosemary and Sage. Some of the more common um, herbs that are all purpose that you can find at your grocery store: basil, rosemary, thyme, and bay leaf. And it's a couple of other ones, but those are some of the main ones. Basil, rosemary. Um, they sell lemongrass in some stores, some grocery stores. It just depends on where you go. So, but it sometimes, I will offer you more herbs, you know what I'm saying, or more powerful herbs to help you with your case. If you are worried about your case at all, you are free to contact me. Please do not sit there and worry yourself into a frenzy and not communicate with me, because you have to tell me how you're feeling. You have to let me know what's going on with you, because I handle a lot of cases that they're very personal in nature. If it's your love life, if it's your children, if it's your job, those things are very personal. If it's your health, and you can worry yourself sick, just let go. You have to. And you know what? I've been there, done that. This is the reason why I always guide people towards people like Shiva, because Shiva can help you meditate. Shiva is very good at guiding through certain yoga practices and certain energies. You know, some people need that. I know that if you're suffering from any kind of PTSD, or either, um, past life trauma, or either trauma from your childhood, there's certain things that you're going to have to do. Otherwise, you're just going to work yourself up into a frenzy. Hey, Prince of Presence, how you doing? You're going to work yourself up in a frenzy, and it's not worth it. I know your cases are worth it. I know that the things that you want is worth it. But are you really going to allow, like, a negative spirit to have that effect on you for months and months and years at a time? So this is the reason why I always suggest meditation. And I totally understand that going deep into meditation has been very difficult. It has been. I don't know what kind of crazy frequencies they got going on out there, but oh my goodness, they are making it really challenging for us to really really go deep into meditation. But there's certain songs that put me into meditation, like Witch's Room. And I listen to that song and a couple of other witchy songs, and I'm just in a witchy mood. And that's why they make that kind of music, because the frequency of that music is taking you into sort of like that etheric, lucid type of state. And that is the place where you can make all of the difference in your entire life. So it's extremely important. I've had to take Epsom salt baths probably damn near close to every night for the past 3 months. I have had, y'all don't even want to know. So it's a lot going on, and so what's going to happen is that a lot of these energies are going to go to sleep. We're getting ready. Tomorrow is the 1st of September. And what I'm going to suggest is getting as much rest as possible, drinking as much water as possible. And I'm actually going to link you guys a couple of frequencies that you can listen to. The one that I'm going to link to you guys is the throat chakra frequency. This is going to help a lot of you guys with your trust issues. There is a throat chakra frequency video that I listened to that instantly just puts me in a place where it puts you in a place where you are even able to communicate, because y'all know that they're trying to cut off communication between us and spirit. That yeah, they can manipulate a lot of that. So this is very important for clients, or if you are thinking about becoming a client. You want to do your entire upper chakras, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. The throat chakra frequency is going to be extremely useful for many of you guys that have trust issues, because those are the worst. So I'm going to link you guys this one. It's called a almost instant throat chakra healing meditation. It's very good. Especially when you're working with the spiritualists, because if you don't have trust in that work, you ain't gonna do nothing but cause delays. Yeah. Hey, Pretty, how are you? Pretty says worrying made me nauseous daily and disassociate so bad. Yeah, when you sit and you worry about your problem, especially when you've thought of a solution, especially when you have the solution, like the work is already done. When I do the work for you, it's done. There should be no going back afterwards saying, now I will tell you that many of you guys are in long-term spiritual wars. Long term, which was why I kind of wish that, 10 years ago or 20 years ago, they would have taught us this stuff growing up, but they didn't. So, so if you're in an ongoing spiritual battle, you've got to stay on point, and you have to, make sure that you're following your intuition. Now, many people have a hard time doing that because they're so distracted. So this is the reason why people pay me to do it, because it's my job to watch your case. So if you're in a spiritual battle with somebody and they send it back, it's got to come through me. And my spirits are going to come and say, incoming. They do all the time. I swear it's so weird. And it's not anything that you have to freak out about. I've learned after 43 years of being a spiritualist and a natural born witch that freaking out over it don't do nothing. It don't do nothing but make the problem worse. And I know that's hard. It's hard. Even I have a hard time staying calm through certain situations. I understand. Like, I'm not saying I'm perfect at all, but I know how to. I do know how to ground myself. I don't stay consistently in a certain negative frame of mind. You know what I'm saying? That's just, I've done it though. When I was younger, I've done it to where, I just have, I don't even think it was long-term depression, but it was more so, that negative thought process. And see that all of our thoughts are affecting each other. And that's why I have a jar over here to protect my thoughts, because I'm gonna tell you something. At times like this, that's all you can hear is the worry and the negativity sometimes. And so I think that, because it seems like it's always something going on, like every single day, like every day. And that's because those spirits are at work every single day, and they've been at work. It's just that previously you couldn't necessarily see them, but now you can sense them because they've gotten closer and closer to you. So as we go through September, and I need to do a universal reading for September, because there may be some warnings that we have to have. I've been telling people, please stop reacting to the negative things. Does us no good to be yelling and screaming. It doesn't. And I know I've done it before too, yelling and screaming. You're not going to change anything. What's going to change things is when you go to work and you do the actual work. That's what's going to change it. Is when, and I'm going to tell y'all something. Witchcraft is becoming more mainstream than people think, because when you set your intent and you've got somebody, or either yourself how to set that intent in stone, then why would you be worrying? That's the one thing. Even, you know what, guys, and I've done this before. I have done amazing rituals for y'all. I have, like, literally been so deep into meditation. My visual was on point. I banished whatever bad spirits, and then I'll hear from you and you'll be worried. And I'll say, oh my God, I just made the situation happen. Maybe it hasn't gotten to you yet. But then also, it takes patience. So, if I take a case for you, obviously it's meant for the situation to work out for you. You can't go by other people's situations that you see not working out, because that's what's affecting you all big time, is outside influences. These are outside influences that are outside of your mind. And so those people are able to get in your head, and then you start thinking negatively. Probably about over half of your negative thought processes are coming from other people. Some people choose to think, speak, and react negatively to everything. Especially, and I'm not talking about, look, if you having an argument with somebody, that's a time to be negative. But in your own situation, you don't want that inner conflict. See, that what that worrying is inner conflict. So there's a reason why I tell you, when you take a bath, dunk your head under the water, let it touch your neck, let the water touch your whole body, get yourself to a relaxed state, because my spirits will show you the outcome. They'll show it to you. And I've had clients that have been that way to where they're like, whoa, I had the most amazing experience. But then some clients are a little bit more resistant. That's just like when I heal you, I am teaching you how to self heal. And even when I work with Saint Raphael, he doesn't want me calling him only except for emergencies, to where maybe I had like some kind of psychic attack that I dealt with. But he wants us to learn how to self heal. So it's about teaching you how to self heal yourself. That's ultimately what it is about. Now, of course, I'm going to always have those clients that I'm going to work with. These are people that are probably going to be my clients for life, or a very long time, until I retire. And even after that, they can still call me, because these people are considered to be family. Okay. I've had clients that have came and got their work done and they've gone. I've got clients where I haven't heard from them, and then I'll contact them and they'll say, hey, let's catch up. I'll get a reading. I'm usually very busy. So if you are a client that wants to reach out to me, you can just do it at any time. I don't have a problem with it. I hear from people all the time. So, but um, you got to understand that your relationship with me is your relationship with the divine. It's a part of it. I serve as a catalyst, because those energies can be overwhelming, because it represents change. If you are someone that is used to dealing with your problems by worrying about them, and then all of a sudden you're being told not to worry, that's going to instantly give you anxiety. You're going to say, what the fuck? I feel like this is too good to be true. Don't ever think that magic is too good to be true. Because if I can't help you, I'll tell you. I'll tell you if I can't help you. Never would I ever take on a case to where, if I couldn't manifest the outcome for you that you wanted, that I would take the case. I would just tell you I can't do it. Okay. Or maybe at that time I got too much that I'm already dealing with. Especially if I've told you, like, hey, you kind of worrying a little too much. Spirit don't like that. Because you know how spirit sees it? They see it as you not appreciating. Because people are always going to attack you, especially people that you're in a battle with. Spirit does not stop that. People have their own free will. Okay. But you have to understand that, especially when you have a outcome that is going to come at a certain time. So a lot of people don't understand that the same energy that you're in right now, you're going to be in a totally different energy by mid-October. Shoot, y'all going to be in a totally different energy by October the 1st. This is just what's going on right now, so there is an energy shift, but you can't pay attention to people that don't want to shift with that. They're going to stay the same. You can't change them. The only thing you can do is you can do with what is within your right to keep you healthy and to keep your stuff straight. So a lot of times y'all got to completely let go of this need to control the opposition. That's what's getting y'all out the gates, is that you want to control the opposition. You want to control what they say. Of course, nobody likes nobody lying on them. They don't like nobody likes being lied on. It's very unfair. It is. It's not a good feeling when people lie on you. And it is. And what's really not a good feeling is when people lie on you and other people believe it. And it can make you feel so helpless. It can make you feel powerless. But why would you let it do that? Part of this is faith. And I think I'm gonna have to start having people take oaths because you have to promise me that you're gonna have perfect trust. That is not just a Wiccan thing, trust me. That's typically what all spirit guides want you to have because they can't work with that energy. They can't work with that energy because you're fighting them. You're asking them for something that they want to give to you, but you're actually pushing the outcome away from yourself at that moment. Once work has been done, it is done. Once I've done your ritual, it's done. Now, if you've got an ongoing situation, there's special cases. Absolutely. There's cases where you're battling with another person, especially a lot of y'all with y'all love cases. And I have learned, I don't, you know what? I will do certain love cases, but I do more so things that are on the back end, which is removing the outside influences. The love part of it should come natural. But a lot of times, I offer love work like lust spells and, fertility spells and also fidelity spells. So it's not just doing love work to make somebody love you. It's other stuff that, yeah, it's definitely valid, because I mean, if it were things that were so easy to come by, then why is it that so many people can't seem to obtain it? Why is that? Why is it that people make it seem like it's so easy, but it's so difficult to obtain? Y'all have seen the marriage and the divorce rates. Quit playing. So y'all already know what's up. And y'all already see like how just the world is, period. And when you found some kind of peace and harmony and your adversary knows that, they may come for you. So what? Do the work and stop worrying about it. And if spirit comes and tells you that, a new obstacle has came up, then handle your business and take care of it. That's how I do it. You got to, yeah. And you have to trust your spirit guides too and your own intuition. Okay. A lot of people that have a lot of self doubt, I don't even take clients. If I've actually had people saying, well, is it really going to work? I don't take their case. I tell them to go somewhere else. If I have somebody ask me if their spell is really going to work, because your consultation is like an interview. That's just like when you reach out to any deity or demon or spirit to do work for you. They are testing you. They are seeing if they even want to work with you. They don't have to do anything for you. They don't. They can say, no, I don't want to do that work for that person. So I can do that too. And trust me, I am not out here begging for clients. I stay busy. Okay. Along with everything else that I deal with, I stay busy. That's the one thing about me because this is a generational thing. And then also my great grandmother was a witch. So it's something definitely that has came through my bloodline. But some of y'all didn't have it so close to y'all. Like generationally, it was like several generations ago. So, that knowledge has been lost. And so that's why it's a lot of people out there just freaking out, freaking out. You know what I'm saying? They have hella anxiety and, and they're scared. when they don't even realize that, you need a cleanse. You need, you're seeing what's happening, but you're just accepting it. And when you just accept things, you don't have to accept stuff like that. What my spirits told me is that nothing that I don't want to happen to me is going to happen to me. And I trust that because I trust myself. And I've gotten myself through some very dark times. And I know that you're strong, but you don't have to continue to be alone. That's the one thing that I learned about this whole thing is that, especially when it comes to undiscovered witches or people that have not tapped in to their power, you don't necessarily have to be alone and isolated. Even though many of us, because we're scared to get involved with other people, because we have trust issues. I'm not scared to get involved with other people. I have clients that come here to my home to get readings. I feel very safe all the time. And you can feel the same way. That's typically how we all grew up, just being scared all the time. And I like scary movies. I sit and watch scary movies. It's how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that's a deviant side of myself. I don't know. But so I understand that it's not about being scared, but it's about facing your fears. So that's what, that's why we have those types of things, not to program us or to scare us, but rather to turn that situation around to where you're not afraid. Now, I don't believe that anybody should be attacking anybody. But when you feel attacked by somebody, that's what you're going to do. You're going to attack back. That's called self-preservation. That's called having a will to survive and to live and to manifest the life that you want. So that is what we do over here. And it's not a joke. So many people need the kind of help that I provide. So that's why I'll always be here. You know what I'm saying? This is something that I'm going to retire doing it. I was born doing it. When you think about it, all this time you've been doing work for people and you just didn't know it and wasn't being compensated. You have been providing something to somebody else energetically, you know, and but the only difference is that it's been getting you down and you haven't been gaining anything from it. Not for yourself. Other people have been gaining off of you. And that's a serious problem, you know? So when I do work for you and you're worried, I want to know how you feel. You have to let me know this stuff because what that does is that lets me gauge what we're dealing with. So communication is important. Don't ever think that you're bugging me. My phone number is 770-686-7461. If you are a client, you can text me anytime you need to and say, hey, I'm feeling like this. Please don't go and talk to others about me because my spirits are going to pick up on that and they're going to put your work in a different category and they're not going to let you attack me because that's not my fault that you spent your money but didn't trust yourself. And that's probably what led up to the to what you're dealing with in the first place is that lack of trust. Because lack of trust don't do nothing for nobody. That's the worst thing you can have is a lack of trust. People will say, well, how do you develop trust? I guess it would depend on the individual. But, when it comes to me, um, I'm not a perfect person. You know what I'm saying? But I do light work and dark because I believe that you have to do the dark stuff. You have to. Otherwise, you won't have a voice in anything. People will just be able to walk all over you. And it's not always attractive. Sometimes it can get quite ugly. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Are you gonna just let people take things from you all the time? And take away from you, take away from the person that you are? And it's not that you have to prove anything to anybody, but I've seen horrible things happen to a lot of people that did not have that stand up and fight in them. I've seen it. And you can't lay down. This is definitely not the time to lay down unless you need to take some time out and maybe you have made some wrong decisions, some terrible decisions with bad intent, like the foundation of your intent was bad. So everything that happened underneath the sun went bad. Then there's going to be a problem because I'm going to be honest with you, there's some people I wouldn't even take their money. I wouldn't even take their money to do work for them. Maybe somebody else would, but I wouldn't. Because I do have standards. My clients are very intelligent. They have very good jobs, careers. I do a lot of work for witches. So I do cleanses and hex removers for witches. Okay, so and what that means is that a witch can be getting attacked from several to up to, I mean, witches can get it from all angles. But the reason why I do it is because you're another witch and I'm going to do all that I can to help you and I'm not afraid because I know my power. Okay, and I trust my spirits wholeheartedly. I have, like, every single day, even though I don't talk about all of the good stuff because you can't talk about the good stuff that's happening in your life because then your enemy is going to try to find some kind of way to turn it around. So it's best to kind of sometimes not say nothing at all. I got very good news today. I was like really shocked. I was like, "Oh my God." Like I thought, and so that's confirmation. That's your spirit's letting you know. So I think that that's really what I do is I restore the trust and the balance in people. Mhm. Prince of Presence is correct. Either you're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. And then, by the way, I know that there's a lot of people that are wanting to set up their businesses, and so I help witches set up their business. But you know what? Unless you have been taught witchcraft your whole life, like and you or either you saw your mother doing witchcraft and reading cards and stuff, or reading bones and rocks and stuff. You know, witches can read rocks. We can read the dirt. We have a lot of different ways of doing stuff. We can diagnose fertility problems, you know, by using all sorts of methods. And looking at humans and how long we have been here, just think about how, you know, these old ways that they call new age, it's not new, but there is a lot of updates. Okay, I think that all of us are eclectic personally. I can't even, like, when I look at the different kinds of witches, I think that at some point we're all a kitchen witch, we're all a green witch, we're all a nature witch. I feel like we're connecting from it from all, you know, connecting to it from all ends, especially because I think that it's important for all of us to understand each other so that we can help each other. It's not about hurting somebody necessarily. It's not. Now, it is about avoiding disaster in your life. Once you know, get up in your 30s and 40s and stuff, you start to figure those things out very quickly. But, you know, we have young people out there that, you know, I have a lot of clients that are in their 20s and 30s. So what do they call that? They call it, if you're in your 20s or 30s, it's a certain group that they call you. So, you know, they got us in groups or whatever. But if you're in your 20s and 30s and you're working with me, you are extremely lucky, because a lot of the disasters that people had at your age, they weren't so lucky to avoid it. And it hasn't been fair. It hasn't been. That's one of the reasons why spirits are trying to make it fair, because it's been totally off balance, in particular since I'd say the year 2000. And so we're at the 20th year mark, going into the 21st year after the year 2000. And so, you know, there's been a lot that's went on the past 20 years, a lot of changes that have been happening around us, but a lot of people very resistant to that change. So you're definitely going to, that's why I tell people, don't discuss that you're working with a practitioner with other people. This is supposed to be a secret. You're not supposed to be discussing that with people. And people that violate that covenant, I can tell that you've done that. And that can be a problem, because it's not fair to the practitioner that decided to help you in the first place, is it? And that's why I have a wonderful relationship with 99.99% of my clients. I don't have very many problems. Yeah, a lot went on during the millennial. I had a millennial baby actually that just turned 20 this year. So, yeah, I just thinking back 20 years ago, that, like, just thinking back at where I was 20 years ago, that's crazy. So, anyway, um that's what I wanted to tell y'all. If you're worried about your case, then contact me. Okay, don't be afraid to express yourself to me. That's what I'm here for. I've had clients that have been like, I've had clients that have gotten frustrated because of their cases, and they've came to me, and and we've talked about it. You know, I always seem to work things out with my clients. So I have a history of this, and my clients will never say that I ripped them off. Not ever, because they've never been ripped off. So I think in some cases I've been ripped off. I actually have some clients that owe me thousands of dollars. I don't sit around and harp over it though. And to be honest with you, after a while, I have a tendency to forgive debts because debt can be a blockage. When people owe you money, just let it go. Say, hey, enjoy it. Because a lot of times you can let that control you. This person owes me money, you know what I'm saying? And you be fussing about it. And I learned years ago to not get involved with people that owe you money. What I tell you to do is I tell you to get a green and black candle or something. I don't necessarily do that unless it is a case that might go through the court. But what I'll tell you is that I can bring the money back to you that that person owes you in other ways. But if a person doesn't have the money to give to you, then how are they going to pay you back? So sometimes in that plight to control, you end up hurting yourself even more. So I always, I'm not going to do any work that's going to cause me to have more work. Hey, Shireen, how are you? Hello, honey. But worrying is just hard work. It makes things harder. Have you a glass of wine and relax. Get in the bathtub, put you some rose petals in there. And I always tell everybody you should be like ordering fresh flowers. You should be picking fresh flowers because what this is going to do is going to raise things up vibrationally. Some of those very simple, inexpensive things that you can do to put yourself in a place where that work can go ahead and manifest. Okay. Instead of you, because worrying will delay the case. Having self doubt will delay the case. And I always tell people, I don't care who you got going on, you need to not have doubt in your spirits because that's not going to work because I would venture out to say that something is going on for you to have that much doubt, in the work. And a lot of people have so much doubt that they want to see the work that I've done for them. And I don't do that no more. Okay. Not with everybody. Sometimes you got to just learn to trust. There's a lot of practitioners that don't show you their altars. They don't show you any of that. Now, I will tell you that I have heard about people getting ripped off. I'm sorry if that has ever happened to any of you guys. I think that it is disgusting when people use witchcraft to try to get over on others. I don't agree with that. I believe in witchcraft. Like I'm serious. But I don't have a belief that other people's magic can necessarily hurt me to the capacity where, because that kind of thinking has nothing but a downward spiral. You're going to go downward. And you be surprised at what happens, you be surprised. And you know what you do after all those months of worrying? You realize I was worrying for nothing. That's how everybody that's what I've personally found out, even with doing work for myself, that if I sat and worried about it until it manifested, that I just was worrying for nothing. Yeah, worry is definitely fear. But then I think it also comes from not having trust, and then being, there was a reason. There's a reason why they there was a reason why they wanted to stop witchcraft and magic, but it's not so that somebody can curse somebody. That's not why. Because if they were to actually stop magic, this world is magic, earth is magic. So that's not possible. They would destroy the earth. You wouldn't even have a heartbeat if you wouldn't have literally, electromagnetic waves running through your brain that cause you to wake up in the morning and walk and talk. So that was the whole problem with that. Okay, because and for me, I'm going to make sure I do everything to make sure that works, because I would have no business, and I would not have the reputation that I have if my spells didn't work. So I'm not just sitting over here doing spells that don't work. That's not what happens with me, at least in my case, but that is because it's a formula. If you take the time and sit down and figure that formula out, then you can figure out a lot of answers, a lot of secrets of the universe, but so many people are distracted, and they watch the news all the time, and that, and I always advise people, stay away from the news, especially at certain times when certain energies seem to be coming in. Because I think that the reason why so many people can be sick and stay sick, and this is all about health too, you can get sick and you can stay sick, is because the healing energy that is being given to you, you either don't know that it's there, or you don't know how to accept it, or either it's being taken from you, one or the other, for whatever reason. Okay, so it's gonna be okay, but especially since you've done the work, it's time for you to stop worrying and sit down and relax. Now, again, if you're trying to trespass on others, if you are doing things that is not conducive with another person's spiritual path, then that can be a major problem. And in fact, you have no reason to even be angry at that person, but you have to be angry at spirit, because spirit is the one that's fighting you on that, because they're saying, look, you don't have the right to impede on this person's spiritual path, especially when it's a good one. Now, if you see somebody going towards a bad spiritual, not a good one, then yeah, you may want to say something to that person, but to try to force yourself on them, that's not going to work. Okay, so I want all of you to practice this. I linked you guys it's up in the chat, and I think they're even allowing us to leave comments during the live. Sure can. So it's in the comment section, the link to a throat chakra healing. I just put the link in there for now, but I'll put like throat chakra healing. So I'm going to urge you guys to listen to that, especially today because it's a full moon, but I feel like it's a really good one. So also third eye and crown chakra, but many of you guys really, really need to get in those spiritual baths and cleanse yourselves and make sure that you understand that it's a very sacred thing that you're doing, that you're not just doing something, and you got to stop taking it for granted. Oh, also, here's another really good one. Because I have a Virgo moon. I have a Virgo moon, so I have a tendency to sometimes worry. and I don't like worrying. I always catch myself. Here's another one to clear out subconscious worry. Okay, so that's another one. Let go of fear, overthinking, and worries. That is the destructive energy. That's what's destroying everything. Is when you start to overthink things and you start to get scared and freaking out and stuff. And everybody has to have their moment because we are all human. And that's why we don't have that judgment over here, because we're not supposed to be walking around like we have no emotion, or that we are just like blank and disconnected from our emotions. That ain't what you're supposed to be doing either, because that ain't nothing but a heart chakra blockage. If it's something that you need to cry about, if it's something that you need to get out, let it just come out. Even some of y'all have to cry for days and days, just let it all out. Okay. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I'll see y'all later. Love and light. I've got some stuff that I got to do. I've got to also, another thing that Spirit is saying is that, and I know that we've had quite a few rain and it's been sort of washing away our protection, like even though nature provides us protection, probably, especially around this time right now where there's a lot of people fighting, there's a lot of people under demonic possession, probably a good idea to put that black salt to use. Okay. And put that black salt, put a line of it in front of your front door. And some of you guys need to even line your windows. I wouldn't do it with black salt, because if you put black salt in the window, it might stain the window and make it black. But rather use white salt around the windows. Okay, you can that will give you an extra layer of protection. And it does work. Okay, then also some of y'all need to go ahead and do the boils on the stove too. So that'll help clear out a lot of that stuff as well, and clear out a lot of the just those bad spiritual energies that are kind of stuck in the air. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these, and sage does that as well. So sage does that too. Okay. And I'll show you guys some sage that I got. I got some new sage sticks that are coming. So I have a haul that's coming up. Um, and I want to show you guys that, because I can't think of it. I think I got a couple of different types of sage sticks. So, and they seem to be getting more expensive. I'm like, whoa, these sage sticks are getting expensive, and I can go through them very quickly. You just have to be careful when you're dealing with fire, because fire burns. You have to be responsible with it. Okay, and sage sticks can be dangerous, especially when they start flaring up and stuff starts falling. You got to make sure that you are not burning things, and you're supposed to have that abalone shell. Uh, but when you're waving that sage stick around, it's connecting to those energies, that whatever is there that you're getting rid of. And you'll notice that bits and pieces will start to fall down and stuff, and it'll just kind of start, so you're very welcome, y'all. And make sure that you're not just using sage, but that you're using mugwort as well as dragon's blood. Because dragon's blood is going to be the protection. Even, okay, once you have saged the stuff out, what I usually do at the same time is I call to my protection. Okay, you want to think of this stuff as like a fog or a mist. It comes through the air. It may not even necessarily be people that you know personally, but people that you know personally can make it worse. They can, because It's a lot that you're dealing with at once, but you can keep the energies in your house where they're supposed to be. Because, yeah, I know. Yeah, they will flare up, like little pieces of fire will fall down. And you also have to watch your candles right now too. Very important for you to watch your candles. I've been very cautious about that because what I noticed is that the energies have been so high that my candles will just flare up. I had a candle a few weeks ago that the alarm clock, I looked at that candle had black smoke coming out the top of it. The smoke detector was going off and it was just like, whoa. So you have to watch these candles because they will explode and they can set stuff on fire. But it's definitely worth the risk. If you have a candle that's flaring up and you have a fireplace in your house, put it in the fireplace. That's what I always do. That's why it's important to have a house with a fireplace, especially if you're doing spiritual work, because that's the first thing the spirit tells me to do. If I'm worried about a candle, I go downstairs, I put it in the fireplace, and I don't worry no more. And I'm able to go to sleep and chill or either do whatever it is that I want to do. So, all right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Love and light, peace and blessings. Classes starting soon. I do have time for classes coming up in September as well as October. So y'all can reach out to me for that. Okay. All right, y'all. I will see y'all later. Thank you for coming, you guys. I'll see y'all later. Hit that thumbs up if you're watching through the playback, as well as hit that subscribe button. And if you guys need to reach me, I do offer work for people. So all of my links is below. You can get a reading or consultation on Etsy, or you can cash at me. Okay, $, Psychic Jamila. Everything is below in the video description box. Okay. All right. Love and light.